All right, so today we're tackling a listener request.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they wanted us to get into the whole Joey debate in men's tennis.
Yeah, always a fun one.
Definitely, especially when we're talking about Novak Djokovic's claim to the title.
Right.
I mean, you're probably already pretty familiar with Djokovic's career.
Yeah.
But just in case anyone needs a quick refresher,
Sure.
Joey stands for greatest of all time.
Right, of course.
And, in tennis, you can't really talk about the Joey
No.
without bringing up the big three.
The big three.
Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer.
Yeah, you got it.
Each of these guys, they've dominated the sport for over a decade now?
It's crazy.
Insane number of wins and titles between the three of them.
It really is. It's actually a period of, unprecedented talent in men's tennis.
Oh, totally.
Makes the whole Joey discussion so much more complex.
Yeah, for sure.
And way more interesting.
Exactly, and that's what we're here to unpack.
All right, let's do it.
So let's start with maybe Djokovic's strongest argument.
Okay.
Just pure on-court dominance.
I like it.
Okay, so 24 Grand Slam titles.
Wow.
That's more than anyone else in men's singles history.
Yeah.
He's even surpassed Nadal and Federer.
It's incredible.
Then on top of that, he spent more weeks at number one than any other player.
Uh-huh.
And to make it even more impressive,
Yeah.
he has a winning head-to-head record against both Nadal and Federer.
And those numbers are just mind-boggling, really.
Right.
And it's not even just the sheer quantity of Grand Slams.
No.
It's the way he's won them.
Yeah, how so?
So he's achieved what's called a double career Grand Slam,
Okay.
meaning he's won each of the 4 major tournaments.
So Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon, U.S. Open?
At least twice.
Whoa.
And Djokovic is the only player in the big 3
The only one.
to pull this off.
That's got to be tough.
So it's incredibly difficult. Think about the consistency it takes to win all 4 of those tournaments.
Yeah.
They're played on different surfaces,
Right.
demand totally different playing styles from you.
Yep.
And to win them all, not just once, but twice.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Oh, that actually leads perfectly into another point about Djokovic's dominance.
Oh, okay. What's that?
His versatility.
Oh, yeah. Right.
He's not just a clay court specialist like Nadal.
Right.
Or someone who thrives on the faster surfaces like Federer.
Uh-huh.
He excels on all 3 hard courts, clay and grass.
You can really see this versatility, in specific parts of his game.
Oh, really? Like what?
Like take his backhand down the line.
Okay.
It's a super difficult shot, especially on faster surfaces.
Oh, yeah, like grass.
Exactly. But Djokovic makes it look easy.
Uh-huh.
Allows him to just dictate points from both sides of the court.
I see.
It's so different from, say, someone like Federer.
Yeah.
His serve and volley style is beautiful to watch.
Totally.
But it's really most effective on faster courts.
Yeah, where the points are shorter.
Right. Djokovic's all-court game, though.
Yeah.
It gives him this tactical advantage.
Well, matter the surface.
Doesn't matter.
You mentioned that match at the French Open a while back.
Yeah.
When Djokovic saved those impossible match points against Nadal.
Oh, yeah.
Even for casual fans.
Yeah, so.
Moments like that really show you the mental strength
The mental game.
it takes to compete at that level. Do you think that's what sets Djokovic apart?
Well, mental resilience is definitely key in tennis.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the pressure of each point,
Yeah.
knowing that millions of people are watching.
Oh, yeah.
Your entire career could come down to one single shot.
That's a lot.
It is. And Djokovic's ability to stay composed,
Yeah.
and fight back from these crazy deficits,
Yeah.
it's almost superhuman.
It really is.
But as amazing as his mental toughness is,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's the one thing that sets him apart.
Okay.
I mean, Nadal and Federer have also shown
Oh, yeah.
remarkable mental strength throughout their careers, too.
So they all have that mental fortitude.
They do.
But Djokovic's dominance, it seems to come from
Yeah.
this combination of things. The record-breaking number of titles,
Right.
his mastery of all the surfaces,
Mhm.
and that ability to just consistently perform under pressure.
Yeah, that's a great point. It brings up a big question for the whole Joey debate.
What's that?
Does excelling across all surfaces,
Yeah.
does that make a stronger case
Yeah.
than specializing in just one surface?
And being the king of that one surface.
Right, because some fans value that versatility more.
Oh, I see.
The ability to just conquer any challenge.
Yeah.
Whereas others might appreciate the artistry and focus of a specialist.
Right, like the king of clay.
Yeah, it really comes down to personal preference.
I guess so.
What criteria you think is most important when you're defining greatness.
And that's what's so fascinating about this debate.
Yeah.
There's no single right answer.
No.
And every fan brings their own perspective to the table.
Exactly.
So we've talked a lot about, what makes Djokovic such a strong contender for Joby.
Yeah.
But like with any debate,
Right.
You got to look at both sides.
You got it.
Acknowledge the counter arguments.
for sure.
It's not all perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Like one thing that comes to mind,
Yeah.
while Federer and Nadal,
Uh-huh.
they get so much love from the crowds.
Oh, yeah.
Djokovic sometimes faces a much less enthusiastic reception.
Sometimes even hostile.
Right.
It's interesting, really.
It is.
You'd think that in sports,
Yeah.
performance should be all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
But the reality is,
Yeah.
public image, it plays a role.
Yeah, it gets all tangled up in a player's legacy.
Totally.
So it makes you wonder, can you really be the Joe Ace
Yeah.
if a lot of fans just don't fully embrace you?
That's a good question.
And it goes beyond the crowds, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Can't really avoid
Yeah.
the controversy
Controversies.
that has surrounded Djokovic off the court.
Right, like his statements about vaccinations
Yeah.
and his support for certain players.
Players who've been accused of misconduct. Exactly. And those controversies,
Yeah,
they do matter.
they do.
Even if they're not directly related to his tennis.
That's true.
I mean, they raise questions about his character,
Uh,
his judgment.
yeah,
And for some fans,
right.
those things are inseparable from how they view him as a player.
Djokovic or not.
Exactly.
So we have the whole public perception thing, and then there's the argument that
Yeah.
Djokovic's rise kind of happened
Yeah.
at the same time that Nadal was dealing with injuries.
Right. Some people say that gave him an easier path to winning titles.
Yeah, it's like, would he have been as dominant
Yeah.
if Nadal had been healthy that whole time?
Right. It's a fair question.
Yeah.
I mean, injuries are a part of sports,
Yeah, unfortunately.
and tennis is no different.
True.
But you can't say Djokovic's achievements are less meaningful
Right.
just because his rivals were injured.
But context is important.
It is.
You can't just completely ignore the impact of those injuries on the story.
No, you can't. It's like imagine a marathon,
Okay.
and your toughest competitor trips and falls early on.
Okay.
You might win,
Yeah.
but there's always going to be that what if.
Yeah. What if they hadn't fallen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
do you think this diminishes Djokovic's achievements?
Or is it just acknowledging something that was definitely there?
I think it's about acknowledging the complexity,
Yeah.
the nuances of any Djokovic debate.
So many variables.
Oh yeah, individual talent, dedication,
Uh-huh.
luck, circumstance,
It's never straightforward.
never, and trying to erase those variables,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be honest.
I see your point, and this brings us to a really important point.
What's that?
It's all subjective.
The Djokovic debate.
Right. There's no single answer everyone agrees on.
And that's part of what makes it so interesting.
Yeah. Each fan has their own values and priorities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what matters most to you?
Yeah. Are you all about the stats?
The numbers,
Or are you more drawn to a player's personality?
their style, their impact.
Maybe it's a combo of everything.
Could be. There's no right or wrong answer.
And that's the beauty of it.
It is. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
A back and forth.
Uh-huh.
Fueled by passion and different points of view.
These debates, they're kind of a reflection of us,
Yeah, what we value.
what we find compelling in a champion.
I like that.
So we've looked at all these different sides of Djokovic's career,
Yeah.
all the arguments, for and against him as the go-away. What do you think stands out to you?
Like the most compelling part of it all?
Yeah.
I think if we just focus on the numbers for a second,
Okay.
24 Grand Slam titles,
Right.
double career Grand Slam,
Uh-huh.
record weeks at number one.
Yeah.
Those are some seriously strong arguments.
It's hard to argue with those numbers.
It is, statistically speaking,
Yeah.
he's done things no other male player has.
But like we said,
Right.
it's not just about the numbers.
No.
You have to consider the stuff that's harder to measure, like popularity
Right.
and the whole controversy thing.
The off-court stuff.
Do you think those things hold him back from being seen as the GOAT?
Even if they shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's tough to say.
Yeah.
It's like we're watching two debates happen at once.
Oh, interesting.
One about Djokovic, the tennis player,
Huh.
and one about Djokovic, the person.
Right. And how much weight you give to each one.
Yeah, that's up to you.
It really makes you think.
About what?
Like, how different would this whole conversation be
Yeah.
if Djokovic had that same level of adoration as Federer or Nadal?
Like if the fans loved him,
Yeah. Would there even be a debate?
would it be so clear-cut?
Would everyone just agree he's the Jojo?
I don't know.
I guess we'll never know.
It's a good question, though.
It shows how powerful perception is.
Yeah, it shapes how we see these guys.
their legacy.
It's not just what you do on the court.
Right, it's how you connect with people.
How you handle yourself off the court, too.
It all adds up.
To the whole story.
So for our listener who wanted to dive into this Djokovic-Joe8 debate, what are some key takeaways?
I'd say first, just embrace the complexity.
Oh.
There's no easy answers here.
No simple comparisons.
Look at those stats.
Yeah, they're impressive.
But think about the context.
How they happen.
Think about how he changed the game.
Yeah.
How his style made other players step up their game.
And don't shy away from the controversies.
Think about how they make you see him.
As a player and a person.
It all matters.
So it comes down to this.
What do you think makes someone great?
Is it just about winning?
Titles rankings?
Or is it about being a good sport?
Embodying certain values?
Or maybe it's both.
It could be.
There's no right answer.
And that's the cool part.
This conversation will keep going.
As Djokovic keeps playing.
And as we get more perspective.
Maybe in a few years.
Yeah.
We'll have a totally different take on it.
It's what keeps sports so interesting.
I agree.
We covered a lot today.
We did.
Those crazy stats.
Amazing moments on the court.
But also the trickier stuff.
Public perception.
Things outside of a player's control.
It's fascinating.
Why this debate is so hard.
And why there's no easy answer.
Is Novak Djokovic the GO?
We want to hear from you.
Yeah, what do you think?
What makes someone the go-it?
What are your criteria?
Let us know online.
Join conversation.
We love hearing your thoughts.
And hey,
yeah,
think about this.
Okay.
Go beyond tennis.
Go beyond.
What makes someone the go-it in your world?
In your field.
Something to think about.
It is.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep.